It's May 11th, 2019. I graduated from college 1 year ago today. That blows my mind. Like, how is that possible? I cannot believe that I'm saying those words. At first I thought that I was going to be doing Things That Part 2 today. I know that's what I said in the last video, but honestly, I kind of felt compelled to do this instead. Maybe that's what I'll call this. Things that I've learned since graduating college. Sure, yeah, maybe it can be a hybrid video. I kind of wanted to talk about it. A year in review, if you will. This time last year was pretty crazy for me, honestly. College graduation was an awesome day. It was a very bittersweet day. A lot of my family was there. I was surrounded by a bunch of my closest friends who were also graduating with me. Graduating from college, it's a very big accomplishment. You are taking that step from being a student your entire life into young adulthood. And honestly for me, I was kind of nervous about it. When I graduated from college, I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I always knew that I would wind up moving back in with my parents, at least for a little bit. And that gave me a lot of anxiety. I didn't really know what was next for me. I didn't really have any sense of direction. I always thought I was going to wind up in New York City. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I guess the purpose of this video is for all of my friends graduating or who have already graduated this year who don't know what they're doing after graduation. If you don't have a job lined up, if you do have a job lined up, congratulations, that's dope. I'm stoked for you. But if you don't, let me tell you, everything's gonna work itself out exactly the way it should. I was extremely anxious. I was sitting in my graduation ceremony in Burris Hall at Virginia Tech. I was having a full-blown panic attack. I was freaking out. I don't think a lot of people knew that, but I was losing my mind. I wanted to leave so bad. I was sweating. I was like, this is finally here. This day has finally come and I'm about to walk across this stage and get my diploma. And all of this familiarity, all of this that I've known, my home for the last 4 years, everything is about to change and I have no idea what I'm doing. If you are in that position right now, that is totally fine. I really want you to hear that. For me, it was almost comforting to know that I was moving back in with my parents. At first, I was like, I'm gonna be a burden to them. This isn't how this should go. I feel like I've spent the last 4 years getting an education. I should have a job. All of my friends had jobs, and I was happy for all of them. So long story short, I moved back in with my parents. I had a temporary job at a concert venue that I'd interned for the prior 2 or 3 summers. But honestly, at that point, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be living with mom and dad, I know that I need to make the most of this time because this is the last time that I will ever live under their roof for as long as I live, unless some extenuating circumstance happens where I have to move back in with them, but I don't plan on that. No offense, mom and dad. I was like, I've been in school my entire life. At that point, it had been 22 years. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the pool every day, get a gnarly tan, and then the other days when I have to work, I'll work and I'll save some money. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy myself and then kind of figure it out. And I'm so glad that I did that. And if you're about to go directly into the workforce, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That means you have a job. You have it together. Like, let's go. I'm stoked for you. For me, it was just a little bit different. The goal I had set for myself at the time was I wanted to be out of my parents' house by January, by the start of the new year. I wanted to know where I was moving to, and I wanted to know what I was going to be doing by that point. So in the meantime, it was great. I got to enjoy the fall with my family. I got to go to a few more Virginia Tech football games. I got to enjoy Thanksgiving with them. I got to enjoy Christmas with them. And like I said, I always thought I was gonna wind up in New York City, but I knew that I needed to take a trip to Los Angeles and kind of figure it out and just see what was out here. I made the trip out here in October. And everybody that I met with a few people in different realms of the entertainment industry out here, and they all told me the exact same thing. They said, Grayson, if you want to work in entertainment, you need to move to Los Angeles, not New York City. As much as I didn't want to hear that, because I knew how big of a change it was going to be and how far away from my family I was going to be, I knew in the back of my head, yeah, that's where you need to be. And here I am. And it's been a year since I graduated, and I live on the complete opposite side of the country. And if you told me a year ago that that would be the case, I'm not sure I would have believed you. It's crazy to me how much has changed, but I think honestly the biggest culture shock has been the lifestyle change. The days of going to your favorite bar on a Wednesday night just because you can, those are over. Also, living within proximity of some of your closest friends who you've known for the past 4 years or maybe longer are also over. That is a very hard pill to swallow. Like for me, a lot of my closest friends live on the other side of the country. I'm probably now only going to get to see them 2 to 3 times a year. That's tough, but it is what it is because that's life. And you have to learn to move on. A lot of people are like, Grayson, like, why are you making this video? It kind of sounds like you peaked in college. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I can't really imagine it gets much better than that. And then I've had a few friends who were like, oh, Grayson, like your best days are ahead of you. I'm like, I don't know. Have you been to Tots Tuesday? Like, it's kind of sweet, you know? Someone once told me that after graduation, it would be hard to keep up with the people who are most important to you and their lives. And I didn't really want to believe that. I always thought that I was going to be very good about keeping up with the people who I cared most about and a lot of my closest friends, but there's truth in that. You are not going to be able to keep up with everybody. You just aren't. People are all over the place. People are busy. Things change, schedules change. That's just how it is. And while that's extremely unfortunate, it's also very exciting for not only you, but those people as well. Everybody is growing and working towards their goals, and it's a beautiful thing. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is that you just never know what the future holds. You may think you're going in one direction, and then you get thrown a curveball and you move across the country, and you just never thought that you would end up where you end up. So I guess if I had to leave those of you who are graduating or who have already graduated with this, no matter where you're going, or maybe you don't know where you're going yet, that's totally okay. Like, what's the rush? You have the rest of your life to be a functioning member of society, and you have time to figure it out, whether you choose to believe that or not. It may seem like the sky is falling. You could be very stressed out. You could be very anxious. I get that. I experience that. I know what that feels like. But I promise you, everything will work itself out. I guess another thing that I should address is that don't have crazy expectations for your first job. Your first job, you might end up hating, and you probably won't make as much money as you want to. I think a problem with our generation is we expect immediately out of the gate, out of college, to be making as much money as somebody who has been doing our job for 25 years is making. That sense of entitlement that comes with being a millennial, that's not how it works. You are at the very, very beginning stages of your career, and you may have to make sacrifices. You may not be able to go get that Hermes belt that you've wanted for the past 3 months. You may not be able to go get that pair of Timbs, whatever you guys wear back on the East Coast. I'm so West now. You have to learn how to save your money. You have to learn how to make sacrifices. You're not gonna be at the top of the ladder day one, and you continue to grow, and it's just this gradual incline. And as long as you keep working at it and you stick to it, you'll get where you're going and you'll get where you're supposed to be. I don't even know if this was a things that, I know the target audience for this is like really, really minuscule, and that's okay. I don't really care. I thought it would be interesting to give you the perspective of somebody who's been out of college now for 1 year, You'll be amazed at how much is going to change. I promise you that. Things will be very, very different a year from now. With that being said, I guess the next video will be Things That Part 2, the actual Things That Part 2. I don't know. I just kind of felt compelled to make more of a serious video. Obviously, the channel that I started is supposed to entertain you, and it's supposed to make you laugh, and it's supposed to be funny. Sorry if you were looking for something that was a little bit more goofy, but I think this is a very happy video. I think it's a very exciting time in a lot of people's lives, and I can't wait to see what all of you guys go out and do. Good luck, Godspeed, and welcome to the real world. It sucks. You guys are screwed. So screwed, dude.